So the board basically governs the organization. Many people think that we actually run the organization, and many years ago that was true in our infancy. And we recognized that that was really causing problems in our effectiveness, so we hired professional management staff. And so Horde and his staff actually run the organization and are responsible for the day-to-day execution and execution strategy, where the board actually provides for long-term strategy and vision, governance of the organization, and then the board also owns the certifications. So when Horde is recommending a change, he brings that before the board, we weigh and sift that and make any changes that we feel are necessary to our certifications, including even which ones we have. Well, in any sizable organization with members, there are always criticisms. It's very easy for somebody to figure out what they don't like, and it's a lot harder to figure out a viable strategy that's better. And it's very interesting, as somebody that's been both outside and inside the board, that the board operates very differently than people think it does, because we don't actually execute the day-to-day things of the organization. It's about governance. But you see the things that people are saying when they put out their slate for candidacy are the same things that I put out there 5 years ago, 4 years ago when I first ran, and the things that I have read for a decade, because we still face the same challenges, and some of these are tough nuts to crack. How to get more women in the profession, that may take a very, very long time for us to undo and figure out exactly what it is that causes women to eject out of the information security profession. Yet it's something we must address. The issue of internationalization is one that we have worked on diligently for 15 years. First of all, removing the DoD components from the test, increasing our presence in different countries. Are we done yet? Absolutely not. And certainly we do remain largely a North American certification as far as membership percentages, although strong growth in many markets, and we're looking to drive that further. So, but that's been a criticism for 15 years. We need more international, and we still do. So the things we're hearing, and it's not that we don't pay attention, we do pay attention. A lot of them are things that take very long cycles to fix. So yes, there are always criticisms. There will always be criticisms, and as Bill Murray has said, and I think he was very correct, we as information security professionals are a suspicious lot. And if we smell smoke, we think fire, not barbecue. So something funny that happens behind the scenes. Well, when you have an international board, people coming from different cultures, different backgrounds, they sometimes have different pronunciations. And of course we tease Horde about his deep southern accent. But people pronounce our certifications differently. You, Javed, you say CISSP, although the official pronunciation is CISSP. But, you know, just like you have SQL and SQL, both commonly accepted. David Melnick pronounces it CISSP, and it drives us crazy. And so now we're asking him to put $1 in the jar for the Safe and Secure Online program every time he says CISSP. And Freddie, coming out of Singapore, says ISC 2. You will hear him say this. We all understand what he's saying, but so we started razzing him about it too, saying, well, you know, it's $1 in the jar, and this you say ISC squared. So it's all good, and we laugh and chuckle with each other about the different perspectives that we have from different countries, and it gives us a richer, fuller experience. But sometimes it adds humor as well too. So it's all good.
You know, I know that as of late, there are several members in the information security community that are eager and excited to run for the board of ISC Squared. And so I think it's great from kind of, you know, somebody that's been in the information security field for 10 years to see all the excitement and the buzz about the board election. So we're looking forward to that and seeing how it all pans out.
No, I think it's a little bit different, both in terms of the attendees as well as some of the conference tracks. Like some of the presentation tracks are pretty broad, I guess, in keeping with the ISC mentality for the certification program. But you know, I think the breadth is also interesting, though. I think that's one thing they do very well, is keep you know, all sorts of, you know, like I said, a breadth of topics, but making them interesting, right? And it's not just all deep dives into hardcore cryptography, because that's not interesting to people. There's a lot more end user applications, right? right? And I think that's the most interesting. So if you go to some of these talks, they're about federal compliance, or they're about penetration testing, or they're about risk analysis, right? And all of that has some sort of end user value that I don't think you get out of a lot of different security conferences. They more seem to be geared towards developers and product vendors and things like that. So I think it's the end user focus is the key.
So I think there are really probably three things that we need to start focusing on. The first is on information assurance. Vendors have got to start supplying us with products that don't present insecurity, so that we can defend our critical infrastructures. It's kind of like specifying a chain link fence and then getting it, and the chain link can always fit a basketball. If you've got giant holes in what you're securing, it's going to be impossible to assure that your networks are secure. The second one is really, I think, we're going to have to focus on defending our networks more actively. And that is still a controversial topic. It's still a new topic, but it's something that Brandon Dunlap and I spoke on here at the conference. And then finally, after information assurance and after we begin actively defending our networks, I think the most important thing that we're going to have to focus on is assuring that physical security devices have the same attention as logical devices on our network. If you're embedding a Linux device into a camera and then sticking it on a network, it needs to be at least as secure as every other embedded Linux device that you're putting out there. Unfortunately, it seems that's an area that we really haven't focused on, and I think it's one that is going to come up over the course of the next few years. So I think those are really emerging trends.
So I led a talk on basically federal compliance standards and how they kind of collide when looking at mobile security, and it's a very challenging problem because some of the mobile application security and solution security is on such a rapid development pace that these kind of legacy product and system certification programs can't keep up with, because they tend to target some of the legacy products that don't necessarily change that often or have longer shelf lives. But shelf life in the mobile space is sometimes a week for a given app version, right? And when you're looking at a certification program that may take 9 to 12 months, there's kind of a problem, right? And I was basically just highlighting the fact that someone may run a certified or compliant application or mobile app or mobile solution, but it may not necessarily be secure because it's 6, 9, 12 months out of date, right? And that's kind of a problem.
Security through security. So the tagline I guess I've been working on lately: the more people you know, the more people you connect with, the more you have your relationships, the more it allows you to actually stop having to worry about some of the fluff, and you can actually advance more with security. Security through security, it only works when we all work together. So you can leverage social networks as a communication medium for keeping your news feeds together. You can use them as an aggregation point so that you can have the news come to you as opposed to having to go look for the news all the time.
Always the conversations are always interesting, right? And it's always just talking to people who are getting the practical experience with the stuff and who are living the stuff day to day from an end user perspective. And it's just interesting hearing different viewpoints because there's no one size fits all solution, right? So I always just find it engaging to hear people's challenges and trying to kind of see what they're living through.
Overall, I think as a security community, ISC Squared has really grown with the advent of the chapters program and with the foundation and all of the different programs that it has. I think it's the responsibility of all of us as members to take what they've given us and be able to use that to help evangelize security. It's something that you can do it to your children, you can do it to help teachers and parents, and you'll even be able to start reaching out to the development communities and the other communities within, because it's that building that relationship that really is one of those things that needs to happen.
I think that the biggest single change that's going to come out in the next 12 months is going to be the chapter programs. I've talked to a lot of different folks in a lot of different chapters. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get started. You have to have a kind of a critical mass of people to get things going, but I'm hearing really good things, and as I travel around and do the Security Leadership Series with ISC Squared, I'm getting to hear a lot of fantastic stories and a lot of people making more lasting connections than they do at just a one time a year conference. And so I think that the chapter model is going to fundamentally change how the ISC Squared community engages with one another, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, I definitely have some thoughts on it, some mixed thoughts. I think, you know, ISC Squared's biggest challenge for this event is that they are greatly dwarfed by the ASIS event going on here. I certainly, you know, as a vendor, I don't think I would conceive of exhibiting here, because there's just, I'd get lost on the, you know, a company would get lost on the floor. There's too many other big companies and too much other flashy stuff going on. It's hard to compete with, you know, nuclear bomb detectors and guys with guns and German shepherds that's trained to attack and do demonstrations and all sorts of, you know, lift gates and security gates and surveillance cameras up the yin-yang. It's kind of absurd, actually. I'm sure that we've all been registered on probably every national intelligence radar now, and just by virtue of walking the floor here.
I think that the caliber of presentations, as always, is fantastic, but I'm seeing a lot more conversations, I think, in the hallways and people making connections. I think a larger international presence is always welcome as well, and that we've had a lot of great interaction with people bringing a lot of different viewpoints from the ASIS side over to our camp and vice versa. So I think the quality of information sharing and cross-pollination is really taken off, and having a larger group attend this year is also helping matters.
Congress is great. There's a lot of great presentations, a lot of great networking. Even you know, having been in my career for quite a while, I've been able to find, you know, good tidbits in almost every talk to be able to come back to the office and say, hey, you know, we could rethink a few of the things and at least start some conversations that might change some things. So it's good to get that extra influence and that outside influence and so forth, as well as to see all the great people that come.
ISC Squared is an excellent place to share information and to work together with other professionals to advance the cause of security internationally. It's a fantastic, it's been a great learning experience this time around. I've had an opportunity to speak on a number of occasions, and it's been really a good experience.
I've been having a blast. The education has been fantastic. Really enjoying that, and then getting out here and seeing the different aspects of security that I'm not normally used to. It's a good exposure.
They're doing an absolutely great job. ISC Squared, you know, hit a home run with it. You know, and everybody's been working extremely hard, and it definitely pays off. I'll be back next year already. I'm there.